Hey, sports fans! New York Parrot has come out with a great new show for you guys, Sports with Rich. Broadcast time 10 p.m. Tuesday evening with Rich Mancuso with Robert Rizzo as a co-host. Sports with Rich is captivating, informative, and entertaining, and it will pertain to all American sports such as soccer, football, basketball, baseball, athletics, wrestling, you name it. Get rich information from Rich Mancuso on Sports with Rich. Parrot TV.
Welcome and live from the Bronx, where we are. Sports with Rich debut here on Parrot TV. Live on YouTube, Sports with Rich. That's the channel for me. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we're here every Tuesday night, live from 10 to 11 p.m. Interactive show it will be. You will have a phone number if you want to contribute, ask a question. Robert the Wiz Rizzo is going to be with me every week. Interject. We have a load of sports to talk about, and we're going to inform you about what's going on during the week. And even as tonight, we'll have a sports update as they do on the live shows at the bottom of the hour. This is Robert the Wiz Rizzo, newbie in the business, but a good one he is. Welcome, Rob. We're live finally here, Parrot TV, YouTube Live, and other social media platforms, Facebook and Twitter as well. And we'll talk about how they could reach us throughout the hour. Let's get to it. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great. Excited with all the sports going on. You got NBA playoffs. You got MLB just starting up. You got boxing everywhere, every other weekend. WWE, WrestleMania just ended. It's a lot of stuff to take in within, every week. So
yeah, and
we're excited.
Yes, we are. I'm very excited about this venture. Thank you for all my supporters over the years, and even as of now, been looking forward to doing this. And we're here every Tuesday night live from 10 to 11 p.m. Reach me here, YouTube Live, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, Twitter, Ring786, Instagram, Mancuso786. And let's start it. Let's begin it all. There's a lot going on tonight, and I want to focus first on the New York Mets, a team that I do root for, that you root for. Yep. But again, we're objective in this business, and we call a shot the way we have to call it. We call it the way it is. Francisco Lindor is our topic right now with these New York Mets who are off to such a great start. Lindor tonight, 2 doubles and a doubleheader over at Citi Field in very November-like baseball conditions. Lindor is turning around the season that he didn't have last year. One of the reasons why the Mets are off to this great start. And, Robert, that's a big key for the Mets offense. Lindor right now is showing his all-star capabilities that he showed in Cleveland compared to what he showed last year.
Yeah, Lindor's been the key along with Starling Marte and others, Peter Alonso. Their on-base percentage is .353 right now. That's second in Major League Baseball entering today. And they have 93 hits. That's also second in Major League Baseball. They're a power-hitting team. Like I said, Starling Marte adds durability in the outfield. You got Brandon Nimmo, Mark Canha coming back soon. Brandon Nimmo returned just now. And Chris Bassett has been a force for them. Max Scherzer as well. He just finished the night, 7 innings, 102
almost
pitches.
A no-hitter.
Yeah, he was flirting with
in his second game. But back to Lindor, his second. He was coming in tonight. He was 9 for his last 33, 3 home runs with 7 RBI. The on-base percentage was .442. The slugging percentage, .606, and 9 walks coming into the doubleheader tonight. Now, again, it's early. We're only 10, 11 games into the season. Anything can happen. He stays injury-free. He keeps this up. I mean, this is a catalyst of the Mets lineup. We knew that last year coming over from Cleveland. But look what they got. The Mets finally have seen their all-star. The fans are all crazy. If you're a Met fan, you got to be enthused about this, all of it.
Yeah, we were there on Friday, and you just see Lindor inning by inning. He looks more comfortable at the plate, in the field. He's having a joy all the time playing for the Mets compared to last year. He was worried every pitch, every inning. Everyone's talking about the contract. To be honest, I haven't heard about the contract in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
No, I think those days are over because
Yeah.
Lindor and the Mets are winning, and I just hope they – it doesn't revert to last year. Anything can happen. It's a long season. And again, and I've been hearing that on social media from the fans, Robert, it's early. So, even with the Yankees, which we're going to discuss in a moment. But another part of this Mets record, and the Mets off to this good start with the best record in baseball right now with their 10 wins coming, which they might be getting tonight out of the doubleheader, is this pitching staff that is doing something that hasn't been done since 1913. The rotation, this Mets rotation. Who needs Jacob deGrom? Is he getting the MRI on Monday? But in their first 10 games, they've had the best ERA in baseball for a team in ERA since 1913. And a part of it, too, has been the new acquisition, Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett is a great addition to this team. And we'll take a look at him now on the screen. Chris Bassett is a durable guy that can give you innings, and yet the Met pitchers have not given them extensive innings up until tonight. Bassett is capable of doing that. Great addition, pick up by Billy Epler, the GM.
Yeah, if you watch if you watched Bassett with A's last year and in past years, you could see he's a second caliber type of starter, even an ace type of caliber starter behind Scherzer and deGrom, hopefully coming back soon. He shows that durability on the mound, that he's not just a random pitcher, that he puts it to you each and every at-bat. He's not quitting. He's not letting up. He's throwing gas every inning.
So, you look at the staff and you look following Scherzer now, and you have Bassett and you have Carrasco and you have, it's just Tyler McGee is another surprise. He struck shaky start in the first game tonight at Citi Field against the Giants, defending National League champions of last year. And look at what Tyler McGee has been able to do in 3 starts, and that ERA, and a fastball averaging 95, a curveball that's effective, plus his other assortment of pitches. And all of a sudden, the Mets are saying, you know what? We can give deGrom all the time he needs.
Yeah, for sure. deGrom's going to be out hopefully early June with all the skepticism coming Monday MRI you said before. So you got guys like Bassett, Carrasco, David Peterson, all showing up day-by-day basis to show them they have the quality start type of caliber.
And what you're looking at, too, is run production.
Yeah.
They're not scoring a ton of runs right now, a lot of them, but they're getting production, and they're getting a lot of 2-out hits. They didn't do that last year. Manager Buck Showalter's a big part of this. He's turned this thing around. He teaches this fundamental baseball, and he teaches certain things that the other managers that they've had over the last few years, including last year and the year before with Louis Rojas, that they weren't doing.
Yeah.
And we've seen that over the weekend with that great base running from J.D. Davis. So Showalter's response, Pete Alonso's on fire. He leads the major leagues in RBI with 14.
Wow.
They're having a great night tonight. We'll talk about that at the bottom of the hour. But good for the Mets. If this keeps up, well, everyone said they'd be playoff bound in October, postseason. And it certainly looks like they're on their way, at least in the first week and a half.
Yeah, small sample
April
size.
is tough to predict, but you got to win these games in April if you want to go to the playoffs in October. These games in April come back. If you lose them, they come back to haunt you in October. Now, on the other side of town here in New York, and we're going to cover a baseball roundup later on in the hour, but we're looking at the New York Yankees and looking at their struggles, and we're looking at the struggles of the ace, Derek Cole. In particular, we're looking at the offense right now. Cole didn't have it again tonight, inning in third, and just did not have it again. And you got to wonder, sticky substance or what? Derek Cole is not Garrett Cole.
Yeah, we've been hearing a bunch of excuses from Garrett Cole, the Billy Crystal stuff, cold weather. Tonight in Detroit, it was cold weather, but he only lasted 2 innings, maybe 3 innings at most, and they're still battling right now. Last time I checked, they were up 3-2.
And the offense is not the Yankees. The Yankee offense is just like last year. Take a look at Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge might be looking at getting some better at-bats, but he's not hitting the home run ball. He's striking out again like he did last year. He gets on base. He might get a double here and there in the first week of the season, draws the walk, but he's striking out a lot. And Aaron Judge is a major catalyst of their offense. Aaron Judge also might have the contract extension on his mind, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I already think he's the face of the franchise before that contract talk even began. you think of Aaron Judge, it's immediately the Yankees. There's no other jersey you're thinking of with him. You have Yankee Stadium. There's a certain section. It's called Judge's Chambers. No one else has that in baseball with seats named after them.
But again, off to a very slow start is Aaron Judge, along with Giancarlo Stanton, and along with this guy, Anthony Rizzo. Who he's not related to you, by the way.
No, he's not related to
but
me.
you guys have the same nose, though.
Yeah.
See that? You have the same nose. But Anthony Rizzo is another one is just not doing it. I mean, the Yankees picked this guy up last year at the All-Star break to provide them production in the lineup from the left-hand side. It's not happening. And you know, when you have those three, Judge, Stanton, and Gallo, or Rizzo rather, and even Gallo could apply here. They're just not doing it. Forget about the bottom of the order. They're doing absolutely nothing. The Orioles took 2 out of 3 from them. That's unacceptable. So Yankee fans have every reason to gripe about it.
Yeah, they entered Baltimore thinking we're going to take 2 out of 3 easily. So let's rest LeMahieu. Let's rest Rizzo. Let's rest Judge. They underestimated the Orioles. Orioles took 2 out of 3. You got guys like Cedric Mullins, Ryan Mountcastle. You can't think they're a joke like that, and that's what's going to happen when you enter Baltimore. So the Yankees have to stop resting guys in the lineup. That's another thing. These baseball players, they're creatures of habit. So when you think of that, these guys drive into work every day. Who is leading off before me? Who's batting behind me? It's all fundamental stuff that over the long run, 162 games, that makes a playoff team. That makes a winning franchise compared to the others.
Excellent point. And we're going to do more baseball towards the bottom of the hour. We'll have a little MLB rundown. Who's hot, who's not right now, especially with the guys that signed these lucrative free agent contracts, including Carlos Correa with the Minnesota Twins, and not off to a very good start. So they're not happy about that in Minnesota, but I'm sure he's going to come around a premier all-star. Okay. We are going to get to a fact of the week. I always do that on my show. You got to get a fact of the week.
Make it fun.
And we're also going to have an update on the scoreboard going on live here Tuesday night. Sports with Rich here on Parrot TV, YouTube Live, and other social media platforms. Tuesday Night Live, 10 to 11 p.m. And I want to thank everyone behind Parrot TV for putting on this production for our debut show here tonight. Switch gears. Let's leave baseball for the moment in our first segment, and let's go to the NBA. Because we are in the NBA first round of the playoffs. It's the most exciting time of year if you're a fan of the NBA. And you got to look at this game. We're going to get to this in a moment. We're going to talk about Kevin Durant, and we're going to talk about what happened Sunday, the most exciting game so far in the early lower in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Nets Celtics Sunday up in Boston. If you didn't see this, we'll show it to you again. That final few seconds of a what do you call it? A
buzzer beater.
Buzzer beater.
Yeah.
So let's go to that quick video. Those final important seconds that gave the Celtics win up. And for this team, to me, to win, Kevin Durant and Kyle Irving have to go nuts.
Yeah, I said before they have to combine for at least 60 points or more. People say back then used to say it's a 100-point game. Now it's about 110, 115.
Both of them have to be in sync. Both of them have to score points. Or the Nets, because when they do, the Nets win their share. Do it. This is what Net fans want to see finally. So we'll see how it goes in Game 2 tomorrow night. What are the other matchups like? And we'll go to the scoreboard. There's some games going on tonight. We'll do that in a moment. But the Phoenix Suns look good.
Yeah,
Game 2 tonight. Yep. Game 2 is in New Orleans.
No, it's in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, because the Suns, a team that I like, they've led from wire to wire all season. Yep. Best record in the NBA. And again, I will say it. It's not Booker. It's not anyone else on that team. That team dwells and that team drives with Chris Paul.
Yeah, Chris Paul is the main factor, along with Monty Williams. He's one of the biggest coaches in the league with all aspects. He added to the Suns' record. What was it, 65? About 63.
Yeah, they won 63 games.
So with Phoenix, you have the role players. That's what's the most important thing in the playoffs. Mikal Bridges, the DeAndre Aytons, the Jay Crowders of the world. If those guys give you 15 plus, and then you add Chris Paul and Devin Booker's 30 each. No one's stopping the Suns, especially in the West. I think the winner of the NBA Finals will come out of the Eastern Conference.
Well, I'm hoping the Suns do it tonight. I am a Suns fan. I never say my team because they're not my team, but I do root for them.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, Rob, good. That's the wrap up. We'll get back to the NBA. We want you to contribute. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win the NBA title? Let us know. Ask us a question. Bottom of the cube. We'll get the phone calls in next week. We'll have the right phone number to you to contribute. In the meantime, we're on YouTube Live. And Parrot TV live Tuesday night sports with Rich, with Rob, the Wiz, Rizzo. And before we go to our first break, and it'll be brief, I'm not going to give you long breaks like you get on other programs.
Yeah.
God, I don't like doing that. When I watch Monday Night Raw, I'm watching 50 minutes of commercial.
Yeah, that's up.
My favorite wrestling show. But I got to leave everyone what I always do on shows, and that's a fact of the week. You ready? I have a fact of the week every week. So get ready, research it. And in the weeks to come, through sponsors that we hope to have on the program, I'm going to leave you something if you get the answer. And this one, if I find my notes, and I know I have it here, I have a fact of the week, and it pertains to baseball. And it has something to do with baseballs. And the question, and I'll give you the answer if you don't have it later, is what is the average length of a baseball? A baseball during a 9-inning baseball game. Not extra innings, a 9-inning game. What is the average length of one baseball in a game? You know the answer? Let us know. I'll give it to you towards the end of the show. This is Sports with Rich Mancuso, Robert the Riz Rizzo. We'll be back. We'll talk NFL draft. That's coming up a week from Thursday night. Back after this, folks. Stay with us.
Hey, sports fans! New York Parrot has come out with a great new show for you guys, Sports with Rich. Broadcast time 10 p.m. Tuesday evening with Rich Mancuso with Robert Rizzo as a co-host. Sports with Rich is captivating, informative, and entertaining, and it will pertain to all American sports such as soccer, football, basketball, baseball, athletics, wrestling, you name it. Get rich information from Rich Mancuso on Sports with Rich. Parrot TV.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rich Mancuso, and this is Robert the Riz Rizzo. This is Sports with Rich live Tuesday night, our debut show on Parrot TV, YouTube Live, other social media platforms, Twitter and Facebook. Log in, join in on the discussion, join the show. And at the end of the program, again, we'll remind you how you can contact us through the week. What would you like to see on this program? Every Tuesday night live from 10 to 11 p.m. So let's go to our next segment of the week. And now we're going to talk with shifting gears out of baseball. Going to go back to it. We will deviate, Rob. You know that.
Yep.
All right, Wiz, we'll talk NBA, NFL. Yep. The NFL draft is a week upon us, week from Thursday night. My favorite time of year to be an NFL fan. It's my favorite draft in sports. But this year, it doesn't have the suspense that we had last year. Where was Trevor Lawrence going? We don't have that this year.
Yeah.
This year we got, it's not as major. You know, you don't have the major names, but let's take a look at the first local needs in New York. We're a national show, but I like talking the two teams that play in New York are really playing Jersey. They should be called Jersey teams. So that's another story. Zach Wilson, will the Jets be looking for someone to back him up? What are the Jets going to do?
I think, honestly, the Jets should go offensive line. They need to protect the quarterback. That's the most important thing in football. You see past playoff teams. You got the Tennessee Titans, the Dallas Cowboys. Although the Colts didn't make it last year, they had one of the most elite offensive lines in football. That's what makes or breaks a team at the end of the season, because 10-6, 9-7, it basically makes the playoffs nowadays. They added another team, and then the extra bye. So you get the gist. So with the offensive line play protecting Wilson, especially behind Michael Carter, he had a breakout year. He was a rookie last year for the Jets. Showed durability out of the backfield, running back, and also a bunch of wide receivers in this draft. The Drake Londons of the world out of USC, Chris Olave, Garrett
So
Wilson
you're telling me that
Ohio
this guy,
State.
so Jack Wilson is that's the guy for the Jets.
I think that's the guy if you complement him with the right role pieces. You see a bunch of quarterbacks nowadays, Ryan Tannehill specifically, Derek Carr. They're above average, but you have to place the right guys around them. You see Derek Carr now, they have Darren Waller, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. They have a bunch of key impactful guys, and that's the most important thing in football. Everything is about the quarterback, but who's the quarterback throwing to? Who's the
right?
quarterback
And then in the case
ball?
of the other New York / Jersey team, Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
I think the Giants need to look for a quarterback. I don't think Daniel Jones has done it in the 3 years he's been here, or 4 years. What is it, 4 years?
Just about, but every year they're in the top 5 for draft pick, so it doesn't feel like anything positive out of Daniel Jones. The offensive line has been terrible. They drafted, I believe, Andrew Thomas 2 years ago or a year ago out of Georgia to protect Daniel Jones with the offensive line play. It didn't help. They might be looking at more offensive line, say Evan Neal out of Alabama. He's a key blocker for the Crimson Tide. You got more, even with more quarterbacks, like you were saying with Daniel Jones, there's 3 important ones in this draft. Kenny Pickett out of Pitt, Malik Willis out of Liberty, and who's the last one? Let's see.
Well, who will be looking for? So, in other words, the Jets and Giants don't quarterback shop. I can see why not.
I don't think so this year.
But the name Hutchinson always comes up.
Yep.
And tell us more what you know about Hutchinson.
I think Aiden Hutchinson's going to be off the board by pick number 2, to say the least, because Jaguars are going to grab him. And Aiden Hutchinson is a franchise type of changing player for sure. You looked at him in Michigan, they made the college football playoff. He was the main contributor on the defensive line, although you got head coach Jim Harbaugh, which is the main role of Michigan. You think of Michigan football, you think of Jim Harbaugh in the last 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, so I would say Aiden Hutchinson off the board at 2.
Okay, so but the Giants have a lot of draft.
Yeah.
The Giants, Jets. What team in this draft has the most first-round picks?
I believe the Eagles had 2 or 3.
And the Giants and Jets are up there too. They have with all the moves they made.
And they're in the top 12, the Jets and Giants. So
and
it could be an impact.
Next week on the program, I want you all to tune in because my football guru, fantasy football expert, Scott Engel, will join us live on the program. And, of course, we'll talk NFL draft and some of the things to look forward to as teams get ready for next season already with the draft. And that's really the beginning of it. So Scott Engel will talk more about it. Hey, interesting note come leading into draft at the Cleveland Browns, a team I used to root for. Did you see this? The Pro Bowl cornerback Denzel Ward, 5-year, $100.5 million extension. The highest paid cornerback now in the NFL. 71.25 of that money is guaranteed. That's unbelievable. That's big money.
He's 24 years old, and meanwhile, I'm 22. You can't imagine a 24-year-old with that money.
For a cornerback, that's big. That is huge. The Browns need him, though.
Yeah, for sure. You have all the offensive players for the Browns,
and they have a question about their quarterback too, which I'll ask Scott more about next week.
Deshaun Watson.
What is it with quarterbacks, Wiz, and all the dissension they're causing? It seems like there are a lot of quarterbacks that are unhappy. Why?
I feel in the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen that shift in NBA with all the superstars demanding trades. All these NFL quarterbacks believe they have that power with all the money they bring in to each franchise. You see the Russell Wilsons of the world. You see the Deshaun Watsons of the world. They demand out, and within a year, they're on another team just like that with 150 million guaranteed on top of the demand. So it's becoming an NBA more with the NFL.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, a quarterback is your stability in the league.
Yes.
You don't have a good quarterback, you're not going to win. And we see that year after year, more of late, how a quarterback drives a team. And without the good quarterback, you're not going to win. You're not going to win many games in a 17-game season. All right, more NFL next week. The draft coming up. Scott Engel, my fantasy football guru and NFL expert, joins us on the program live. Sports with Rich with Robert Rizzo, the Wiz, next week here at Parrot TV, YouTube Live. Now, back to baseball before we go to the bottom of the hour. And I want to discuss some of the good and the bad, what's been going on with some of the high-profile free agent signings, how they've underperformed. And let's look at Mookie Betts of the Boston Red Sox at first. Mookie, to me, is not playing his game right now. And again, we're only in the second week of April.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Mookie Betts?
As of now, in 43 at bats. He only has 7 hits, batting 189. Although the Dodgers are 8-3, the Dodgers need Mookie Betts to be the Mookie Betts we know. 2-time World Series champion, Red Sox 1 time, Dodgers the other time. He's that cornerstone for the Dodgers other than Clayton Kershaw. They added Freddie Freeman over the offseason, but Mookie Betts is the key.
When we come back from our first break, our Billy Capola, LatinoSports.com, right there at Dodger Stadium tonight. We're gonna talk to him for a few minutes about Dodgers Braves, and he'll talk about that.
Awesome,
and Freddie Freeman, who he knows real well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll get to that, but let's continue the baseball discussion past Mookie Betts. Let's look at these guys: Carlos Correa, all right, Kyle Schwarber, Garrett Cole, Trevor Story, just among the many names that are not living up to expectations in the early going.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I think it's just up over their heads. They're thinking too much. I say it all the time. The spring training this year is 15 games. In a normal season, it's 30 games. So a lot of these players are in their spring training form. They're getting back to the regime they know. A 99-day lockout doesn't help anybody to add to that.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, guys that had the same amount of time to prepare with a truncated spring training, which normally would be 7 weeks, went down to 4. They're performing. They're doing what they got to do.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's too small of a sample size. We have Garrett Cole 3 starts in. He finished second in Cy Young last year, and he did have a bumpy year last year, and he still had 200-plus strikeouts.
But if you're a fan of like a Carlos Correa and you see what's going on there, and I look at these box scores thoroughly every game, and I see what's going on, and I look at these box scores, and I see 0 for 4, 0 for whatever it is. And you know those fans are screaming somewhere.
Yeah, you got to make an impact on a daily basis if you're going to be getting paid $100+ million over whatever, say, years. Carlos Correa got $105 million over 3 years. It should be stated. It's very important. He has an opt-out after this year. He could be switching teams just like that. I believe he only has 1 homer, probably 2 to 3 hits at most.
Yeah.
He's really struggling.
Check and see what he did tonight. Then you have Kazuki of the Cubs, who has been named National Player of the Week. And, of course, Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Indians, Player of the Week in the American League. And they did the job this past week. And, Suzuki he's going to be in the MVP talk, I think, by the end of the year.
Yeah, he's a star on the Chicago Cubs. He just made his debut, 10 days ago, and you already see his impact. He already has 2 homers, multiple hit games. He's the main and pivotal role for the Chicago Cubs, who seems to be in a rebuild, but you never know in the NL Central. It can flip just like that.
That's right. All right, Rob, good job. We're coming in the bottom of the hour, but first, before we go to break, are you going to give a sports update brief of the live action going on now Tuesday night here, Sports with Rich on Parrot TV, YouTube Live, other social media platforms, including Facebook and Twitter. The fact of the week, again, is the average length of one baseball used in a game. One baseball. What do you think it is? Try and let us know. Can I give me the answer by the end of the show? And if I don't, remind me, please.
Yes, I will.
All right, so here's an update with Rob on the live scoreboard, and then we'll take it to break. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah.
Here's the whiz with the update.
Yeah, Yankees just took a 4-2 lead going into the top of the 9th against the Tigers. They look to get the first game out of the way in the 3-game series in Detroit. The Mets, we said before, they got 2 games in the doubleheader. Max Scherzer and for the first start. They went 2-0 for the day against the Giants.
Tyler McGill.
Tyler McGill. There you go.
Yeah, McGill. Yeah.
So for the NBA playoffs,
did I get his name right?
Tyler McGill.
There we go.
There you go. So
who needs Jacob DeGrom?
It might be too early to say that. In NBA, Miami Heat defeated the Atlanta Hawks, going 2-0 up in the first round of playoffs. That was in Miami. And now there's 2 more games going on, the Timberwolves and Grizzlies. Grizzlies are up 19 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And the third and last game, you got the Pelicans at the Phoenix Suns. It's in the first quarter. The Pelicans are up 25-18. You guys should tune into that later tonight.
I will.
Oh, for sure. You guys see what's going on with Devin Booker versus Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns.
And Chris Paul.
Oh, I said Timberwolves, sorry. Brandon Ingram, CJ
Your first show, Wiz. Give me a break.
I'll learn.
Do it next week. Someone else is sitting next to me.
Yeah, all good. I'll learn. So with those 3 games, it's going on today. We mentioned about Boston and Brooklyn. That's going to take place tomorrow night. A few other games that took place. Let's see. Mavs Suns, they're Mavs Jazz. It's 1-1 in that series. Luka Doncic looks to be making a return. He suffered a calf strain injury.
Right.
Hopefully by Friday or Saturday he should be back. And Warriors Nuggets. Warriors are up 2-0 in the series. Jokic and the Nuggets are struggling with Draymond Green and Steph Curry on the other side of the court.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, I believe that's all.
It took long enough to do it.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
You know me.
Thank you, Wiz. Good job. First time. Not bad.
Yeah.
Good writer, too. He writes for LatinoSports.com as well and NewYorkSportsDay.com, among others. He's following my footsteps, I think.
Yep, for sure.
I think.
Yep. A lot of people say you're the best.
Well, no. There were others out there, I would say. Back with more Sports with Rich and with the Riz, Robert Rizzo. We'll have to get Billy Capola, hopefully live from Dodger Stadium in L.A., Dodgers Braves, Game 2 of that rematch of the National League Championship Series. We'll be back. Hang in there. Back after this, folks.
Hey, sports fans! New York Parrot has come out with a great new show for you guys, Sports with Rich. Broadcast time 10 p.m. Tuesday evening with Rich Mancuso with Robert Rizzo as a co-host. Sports with Rich is captivating, informative, and entertaining, and it will pertain to all American sports such as soccer, football, basketball, baseball, athletics, wrestling, you name it. Get rich information from Rich Mancuso on Sports with Rich.
All right, welcome back. Sports with Rich live here on Parrot TV, YouTube Live, Tuesday nights, 10 to 11 p.m. I'm Rich Mancuso. He's the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. And there he is joining us for the next segment of the show from Dodger Stadium, where I'd rather be right now in the warm weather. LatinoSports.com and former professional baseball scout with the Braves and other teams. That's my buddy Billy Capola. Billy, how are you?
I'm fine. Actually, I had to wear a long sleeve shirt today because the temperature dropped down to 68. So,
oh, pity you.
Yeah,
we're in the spring. We're in November here in April.
And as I'm thinking of Tom T-Bone Giordano right now because you know what it is today. It's Taco Tuesday, and in Dodger Stadium, and not only do they have tacos, but they have a mariachi band out there playing every half inning. It's a crazy thing. I never saw anything like it.
I was going to ask you.
People having a lot of fun. It's a great place.
I was going to ask you, what's Dodger Stadium like? The opening series, Freddie Freeman in town. What's it like?
I'll tell you what. Yesterday was a really, really interesting day because pregame you could, before it gets telecast. There's a lot happening on the field. Freddie came out, and after they did their BP and everything, and he was over there hugging everybody, and it was a very emotional day for him and everybody else down there. And then the Dodgers did a nice tribute to Kenny Jensen, right at the same time. And what's funny is down below they have all the Gold Gloves and Silver Slugger awards, and Freeman got was presented as a Silver Slugger for 2021. But I noticed there's a spot open. I'm wondering if they're going to put his over here in Dodger Stadium. That's got to be really funny.
How's the atmosphere there? I mean, Billy, you just relocated out there, and you used to Citi Field, Yankee Stadium, and stuff. And you were in all ballparks because you were a professional scout for years with T-Bone, the late Thomas Giordano. The oldest scout in baseball passed away, 93 years old a few years ago, and you were his right-hand man. But how's the atmosphere there? 52,000 a game. Your first one there working as a member of the media. Just set up the scene for us.
The ballpark is beautiful. It's 70 years old. It's the third oldest ballpark in the major leagues, believe it or not. But they get 52,000 people in here every single night. I mean, it's like... And they've been doing that for years, and there's a reason for it. It's easy to get to. There's a lot of traffic out there, so you have to play it by that way also. That's why for years their fans would get here in maybe the second or third inning because of the traffic, and they leave at 7 because they didn't want to be in traffic leaving.
Was that you too? Did you leave early?
Oh yeah, I'm here 3-4 hours before the game.
But you left early, right?
Yesterday I left early because I'm getting old, Rich. I need my sleep, and
getting old. What about me?
But the atmosphere here is really, really something to see. It's a baseball game, but the people in the seats and the stands going to the game and everything, it's different. It's 3,000 miles away. You think you're on the moon as far as the difference between East Coast, West Coast, and everybody's nice. I'll tell you what, two places that I can really say. The people up in Yankee Stadium were always nice to me. It's Citi Field and also, and I think that's indicative of every ballpark you go to today. The people that work the stadiums are very friendly, very helpful, and they make it easy for us to do our job. They really do. And it's like that over here. Same thing.
How's the food there in that press box? I haven't been there in a long time. I got to talk about food. You know that.
Well, let's put it this way. If I was with Mr. T-Bone, we'd be eating somewhere else before we came here. It's okay, but
Billy, let's get off the subject of food. I'm getting hungry.
Please.
Let me ask you about both these teams.
Yeah.
The Braves are off to a so-so start. The Dodgers so-so, but it's early, and I've been talking about that the first hour of this program, at the beginning of the program tonight. And it's April. It's early, so we can't give an indication. What you saw what the Braves did last year. They had that late surge, go on and win the World Championship. But what are your feelings about the Braves without Freeman now, and can they be all right without him in that lineup?
Well, I'll tell you what, Olsen is. I think that's a straight swap there. They got somebody in him that's going to replace Freddie. Freddie's personality in the clubhouse, the team leader, was there for since it's the only team he knew, and he's just bringing that right over to the Dodgers, and you could see that in everything that goes on over here.
Right.
He's going to go in the Hall of Fame. And that's what they have. Talking to someone yesterday from the Braves, and they're telling me, they offered him the same amount of money. He just wanted that extra year. And when they were slow with the negotiation, and the Braves were afraid they were going to lose the chance to get Olsen and end up with nothing. So they made the deal right away. And at that point, Freddie was basically really surprised. And so he just signed with the Dodgers. So, but the team, the Braves are off to a slow start, but we'll see what happens. It's a long season. They're going to get Luna back soon. He should be back in the middle of May.
But without a doubt,
the Dodgers
the Dodgers are, I just feel that these two teams are going to be, look, everyone's talking about the Mets here in New York, and in baseball in general, they're up to this great start again. But last year, they were up to that great start, and they collapsed between injuries and everything else. I don't think that's going to happen this year with Buck Showalter as the manager. Rizzo and I talk about this all the time. But I do feel that in the end, the Dodgers and Braves will stand out as maybe the two lasting teams again in the National League, fighting it out for to go to the World Series. Can you see that maybe? It's too early to tell. Long season, we know that, but on paper, they both have it.
The Mets went out pretty good last year, and then after the All-Star break, you saw what happened. The Braves won the division with 88 wins. I don't think anyone's going to do that this year. But the Braves got a nice pitching staff, but they're 3 deep. They still need a 4th and 5th guy that they
really
do need to find.
So who do you think? Let's play general Billy, sorry, I'm running out of time already. Play general manager now, and many of them in baseball. Let's say we go to the trade deadline with the Braves pitching staff where it's at. They're coming back from injuries, and who's them? They're not really giving them depth right now, early in the go. Who could they go out and get? What are some of the trades? They always have guys they could trade. They're a deep and rich organization where they can give to get. Do you agree?
All of that depends on who the team wants. If they want somebody that
Yeah.
Don't want the untouchables. That deal's not
Right.
gonna happen. So what they're going to rely on is the dab in their farm system. It's like a guy like Muller, a big lefty. You'd watch for him to come up soon. This Tuki Toussaint they just brought up. They dumped the kid that pitched yesterday and Yona and Newcomb. So they've got a stockpile down there, and I think to work with that rather than start giving up too much more, because they're going to need some of these guys in the outfield and infield that they have down in the minors that are capable of playing at this level. I don't want to lose them. I don't know who they would be looking at right now to fit there.
All right, your early impressions with like 10, 11 games into the season, briefly, what are your thoughts on so far, Mets, Yankees, what's going on right now in the first week and a half of the season?
Mets obviously look pretty good. I mean, what can you say? They're playing good baseball in nasty weather, to me, the Mets are going to be the one that's going to surprise everybody one way or the other. But I'm positive on them. I think they're going to, that whole losing DeGrom and when they're going to get him back is going to be really, really crucial. Who
needs Jacob DeGrom? They're doing well without him. That pitching staff with a 1.13 ERA coming into tonight's doubleheader.
I know. Right? The big question for everybody out here, even speaking to the guys from the Braves and the Dodgers, is Aaron Judge. What's going to go on there? Is he going to be able to perform with all this hanging over his head? Is he making the right decision? That's a big people are talking about that out here.
And what are they talking about? I discussed that with the Wiz a little while ago. Do you think mentally right now in the early going that this – I don't think that happens. But do you think being around baseball all your life that mentally he's being affected by this?
Well, you know what? The things that they're asking is, what if he gets hurt? And this is a guy that probably will get hurt. He hasn't played a full season in his 4 years that he's been in baseball. He hasn't played a lot of games. So, he's talking $230 million. Do you want to be a Yankee for the rest of your life? I mean, that's a big deal. So that's been the talk out here as far as, what these teams talk about, more so than who's where, because it's a long season. And I'm really concerned about where they are right now as far as wins and losses. And, they lost a pitcher, but you got 100 and some odd games, 50 games to go, whatever. They'll find somebody.
They will, yeah.
I was going to say the West Coast with baseball, it seems way more laid back with the fan bases. But East Coast, you got the Yankees and Mets. If the Yankees lose one game, every caller on the radio is going to flip out.
Yeah, but look, we're running out of time. But Billy, look, let me look at this. The Yankees won 4-2 tonight against the Detroit Tigers, an improved team without Javier Baez. But look at this again. The lineup struck out 13 times. All right? I know I'm reading this right. They were 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They left 11 on base. Judge was 1 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Rizzo 0 for 2, 1 run scored, 3 walks. Stanton 1 for 5, 2 strikeouts. I mean, there you go. That's every game they're doing this. They're not scoring runs. They're not hitting. And that's what happened last year. That's why they didn't go far last year. That's why it was more than Garrett Cole's ineffectiveness in October. It was their ineffectiveness to hit in the wild card game up in Boston.
Leaving men on bases, that's been their Achilles heel for a number of years now.
It continues all the time.
Like that. Strikeouts, it's all part of the game now.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately the strikeouts, they're trying to hit home runs. They won't go the other way on a shift and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way the game is played right now. So
I know.
Forget it. That's nobody.
All right, Billy. I gotta let you go. I'm running out of time because I gotta do some keep it in the ring. Boxing, wrestling.
Eat, man. You keep me from my dinner here.
I'll see you soon out there, my friend. Maybe July, maybe sooner for some boxing, but enjoy the nice weather in LA and most of all that series with the Dodgers and Braves. And you're the newest writer at latinosports.com, and I know they're happy to have you aboard with your baseball knowledge and insights. And good talking to you right from Dodger Stadium tonight. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, man. Take care.
All right,
Stay
Bill.
warm.
Thank you, my friend from Los Angeles, Billy Capola. Some good insight about baseball. All right, let's go now before we go to our final break and wrap it up later. Sports with Rich here at YouTube Live, Parrot TV, social media platforms, Tuesday Night Live, 9 to 10 p.m. Interact. Ask us a question in the cube on the bottom. Next week, we'll have a phone call where you could text or live get us. We'll answer your calls. And I know you got tons of questions for me and the Wiz. Anyway, keep it in the ring time. And Robert, you keep quiet now. This is my time.
This is your time.
But the Wiz is getting involved in boxing with me. Hang around me, you know you gotta like boxing.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
did. He got a taste of it a few weeks ago at an Abella Boxing Promotions card, Paramus, New Jersey. He did a great job handling the media with me, and he got a taste of it, and he likes it. He wants to do more.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're coming off a Ugas Earl Spence fight over the weekend on Showtime pay-per-view. Ugas with a broken eye socket. He's going to be all right, doesn't need surgery, but now we'll have to wait online. We want to see Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. That's the fight's got to be made by boxing in the welterweight division to unify the titles. They will talk. They will get it going. The PBC has both fighters, and I'm sure that's a fight that's going to happen by the end of the year, folks. This weekend, the heavyweight championship up for grabs in London, going to be close to 100,000 people at Wembley. And Tyson Fury says it'll be his last fight. He is the WBC heavyweight king, and Dylan White holds the other belts. That's going to be a slugfest. Dylan White has power, my friends, and I wouldn't rule out Dylan White winning and unifying that title, and then get Anthony Joshua next. Would be in line for it. Dylan White is a heavyweight to look at, and Dylan White and Fury is going to end up being a good fight. Tyson Fury says that's going to be his last fight. Then he's hanging up the gloves. You know, this is boxing season, Wiz. Every week for the next 2 months, weekend, we're going to have major fights on the calendar, and I am excited. I'm like a little kid that's getting candy in my mouth. I love it. So they'll be trading punches for the next 8 weeks on Showtime, on The Zone, on ESPN, and everywhere else. So it's boxing weekend for sure. Now, we'll talk more boxing next week, possibly get a former fighter. We're going to do this down the line on the show every week. Present champion, current former champion, Hall of Famer, Dinah, come on, Sports with Rich, and we'll talk boxing. Now, let's go. Keep it in the ring. Pro wrestling, of course, good part of my career was that. Let's take a look at this guy, WWE champ, Roman Reigns. We get him on the screen. He's the unified champion. No, that's not Roman Reigns. There he is. I think Roman sometimes wants to be you know? Roman Reigns, unified champ. Question I keep getting from a lot of fans is how long he's going to have that title. He's had a record number, a year and a half so with that title. Now he's got both titles. WWE is swinging in the direction now of unifying titles. I mean, the SmackDown and Raw brand will be on the same show together. Roman Reigns is going to have that title, and from what I'm hearing and what I could gather, because they're so predictable, till next WrestleMania in Los Angeles, April 1 and 2nd. And the feeling here, if they can get him and they want him to do it, and he's looking at doing it, Roman wrestles his cousin, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and then one of the titles goes off him or whatever. I don't know if he'll hold the 2 titles that time, but that's what WWE is leading up to as a mega main event for next year in LA. It makes sense. Roman Reigns in Hollywood, where The Rock is, for the title. And AEW is the promotion. I love them every week. I watch them every Wednesday night live on TNT. And you got CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and Adam Page. I mean, you know, you go on and on and on. And MJF, he is their major heel. Watch more AEW, more talk about that next week. That's our Keep It in the Ring segment today on Sports with Rich. And then when we come back, we're going to wrap this all up, give you the answer to the fact of the week, talk a little MLS. The NYCFC had a 4-goal day from their top scorer of last year. And then we'll wrap it up and talk a little about next week. Right, Riz? Ready?
Yeah,
Final
good.
break of the night. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Robert the Wiz, Rizzo. Sports with Rich. Back after this.
Hey, sports fans! New York Parrot has come out with a great new show for you guys, Sports with Rich. Broadcast time 10 p.m. Tuesday evening with Rich Mancuso with Robert Rizzo as a co-host. Sports with Rich is captivating, informative, and entertaining, and it will pertain to all American sports such as soccer, football, basketball, baseball, athletics, wrestling, you name it. Get rich information from Rich Mancuso on Sports with Rich. Parrot TV.
All right, folks, our fans, thank you for joining us live tonight. The hour is going by pretty fast, almost done. Rich Mancuso, the Wiz, Robert Rizzo, the debut show of Sports with Rich, live on Parrot TV and YouTube every Tuesday night from 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Log on and on the YouTube page, Sports with Rich and with Parrot TV. Like, subscribe, and as they comment, we want to hear from you. Next week, we'll get their questions in the cube. We're getting the kinks out for the first show. It's only going to get bigger and better. Next week, we'll have a live phone number where you could call us live on the air. If this all works out, we'll do more than 1 hour a week. Let's see. That's not my decision. It's up to the bosses over at Parrot TV, and I want to thank them for this tremendous opportunity to get this going. Sports with Rich from my home studio in the Bronx, if you want to call us. It's my, what do I call it? The fan cave?
The Mikasa.
Yeah, the Mikasa, su casa, la familia, the fan cave, whatever it is. I write for LatinoSports.com, NewYorkSportsDay.com, as well as the Riz, Robert Rizzo, and Worldwide Boxing on Facebook, among some of the websites I write for. As they say in the business, I'm a whore. I'm all over the place. Yeah, well, that's what it is. All right. Did you get the fact of the week? Did you get the answer to the fact of the week?
Nothing yet.
Well, okay, let me give you the answer to the fact of the week. The question was the average lifespan of one baseball in a game, a 9-inning game. Okay, here it is, folks. Remember this. Keep it in your records. You might want to wager on it one day with sports gambling. The question like this might come up.
Yeah.
All right. 7 pitches is the average span. 7 pitches for one baseball, and they use 6 to a dozen baseballs per game in an average 9-inning game. Imagine if it is with extra innings. Oh, by the way, extra innings, and I got into with fans tonight on Facebook with the Ghost Runner extra innings the last year in the first game, the Met game. That came into effect, the 10-inning game. The Mets won game 1 against the Giants. I ripped the Ghost Runner apart again. Then I got a couple of fans say, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? That's Bush League. It's not baseball.
Yeah, it's not baseball.
I mean, come on. I love extra inning ball games. I've been at the ballpark in my career where I've been there for 18, 19, 20 inning games. I have. And I love that. I didn't want it to end. I mean,
it adds authenticity to the game.
Look, they did the Ghost Runner in baseball because of COVID. I can understand that. That's over now. Even though guys are still getting COVID, what's the difference? They went away from the 7-inning doubleheaders, which I also thought was a farce.
Yeah.
Now the Ghost Runner stays in effect till next year. Come on. So, I mean, I hate the Ghost Runner, but how many baseballs would they use in an extra inning game? That's an interesting. What do you think that was an interesting fact?
Oh yeah, that was an interesting fact.
Every week you'll never get my facts.
All right, you're one throw.
You'll never get them. All right. Before we give a final quick update on the scoreboard tonight, real quick, MLS action, NYCFC defending MLS champions, Yankee Stadium this past weekend on Sunday. They 4 goals from Castellanos, and he was the Golden Boot Award winner last year, most goals in the league. He helped to a slow start, but those 4 goals on Sunday against Toronto got him going. NYCFC sharing stadiums with Yankee because the Yankees won't let them use their field the whole season, their precious turf. So now they're at Citi Field Sunday, and they play Red Bull Arena in Jersey, which I think, they got to get their own stadium, and that's all about money. Yeah. And I don't know when that's going to happen. My people tell me from NYCFC they're no close to getting that. So that's it with MLS. With NYFC, we'll do a lot of that. We'll have one of their guys on our program too in the weeks to come. Robert, final update, scores real quick.
Final updates: Yankees beat the Tigers, Mets beat the Giants in a doubleheader. The Miami Heat beat the Hawks, going up 2-0 in the series. The Suns are up on the Pelicans 42-41 in the second quarter.
I like that.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies are beating the Timberwolves by large hand, 112-83. So that series is going to be tied 1-1. So
all right, and the Mets take a doubleheader, and the Suns win, and my night is complete. I'm very happy, and I have my plate of gnocchi too.
Yeah, so you got it.
Courtesy of your boys.
Yep, Amalfi Restaurant.
Thank you very much. All right, fans, that'll do it for our debut show. A quick hour it was. I want to thank Billy Capolo for coming on direct from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The Wiz, Robert Rizzo, got a taste of it. Next week, you're going to see even more and then improved graphics and more. This was our debut show. Stay with us. Things didn't go the way you wanted them to right away. I thought it went pretty well.
Yeah, I think
all right.
Well.
And also next week, if you're a football fan, you want to tune in. 10 p.m. next Tuesday night, Sports with Rich on Parrot TV, live on YouTube, and Sports with Rich. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. And Scott Engel, the football guru and fantasy guru, will join us. We'll look at the NFL draft next Thursday night, where that might be headed, and some of the things you expect for some teams in the NFL season. You know what? It's going to creep up on you fast, time does every day. So good job, Wiz.
Yep,
thanks for being here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And thank everyone for Parrot TV for giving this opportunity to us. And to me, Rich Mancuso, you keep me young by doing things like this. I'll be at the ballpark this week. Fill you in. Stay in touch with me. Twitter also. Twitter, Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. Get me there. And Wiz, how did it get you?
You can follow me on Instagram, rrizzo4, Twitter, Drizzy Riz, Facebook, Robert Rizzo. I write for Latino Sports and NY Sports Day. Catch all my latest articles on both sites.
And also, of course, you can leave messages at Parrot TV. We'll get to you and hold them till next week. Till next week, 10 p.m. live here on Parrot TV and YouTube Live. Sports with Rich. I'm Rich Mancuso. This is The Wiz. Keep it in the ring, everyone. Till next week. Thank you.
Are you curious about financial literacy? Then take a look at Professor Anthony Rivecchio's new program on Parrot TV. It's called Financial Focus University. This is an excellent program to learn about questions related to your own finances post-COVID, and how you can manage your money, how you can work with your tax situation. And this is an excellent and informative discussion of financial literacy. With Professor Anthony Rivecchio, your financial problems will be solved at Parrot TV with Financial Focus University. Hey, sports fans! New York Parrot has come out with a great new show for you guys, Sports with Rich. Broadcast time 10 p.m. Tuesday evening with Rich Mancuso with Robert Rizzo as a co-host. Sports with Rich is captivating, informative, and entertaining, and it will pertain to all American sports such as soccer, football, basketball, baseball, athletics, wrestling, you name it. Get rich information from Rich Mancuso on Sports with Rich. Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.